Good morning, guys. Marten here with a quick weekend update. We got one hell of a fall on Thursday. Bitcoin was down 8% at most, and almost all major altcoins were down more than 10%. And we're gonna look at some of them today here. In this video, we'll follow up on what happened to Tron, but also Genesis Vision and Bitcoin Cash. And we'll finally see if there could have been a link to the crypto fall based on the stock market crash that we also had last week. So let's get started here. Here is Tron and the daily short. And as we can see here, Tron was hammered on Thursday. It went down 19% at most, but it almost closed at a very low as well. So a very negative day. We looked at Tron up here, I think it was on Wednesday, and we looked at a potential bull flag here, and also we got some great news from Tron saying that they will become more efficient than Ethereum and EOS, but that does not help when we get a major plunge like what happened here. So that did not hold at all, so we fell all the way down here to this fib level here around 0.02 dollars for Tron. But we have recovered nicely here since. Here was yesterday, and Tron was almost up 15-16% at most. But then fell back a little bit, closed just right below this supporting trend line that we've had. But now we've lost this trend line. At least we made a major scar here. The good thing is that we are right now back on the right side of this trend line. We're up here, so you see the trend line here, and also above the 20-day and 50-day EMA. The 50-day is the blue line here. So these are all good news here, but Tron is not big enough to make this on its own, I think, if Bitcoin or the other major big cryptos were to go down again. So watch the other ones very closely here during this weekend. And now let's look at Genesis Vision, or GVT, because we looked at this here on Wednesday. We had this nice move, and that was also when there were some social buzz going on for GVT on Watson's report. But obviously GVT took a beating here on Thursday, as all cryptos did, but we did not go down that bad, really. So we sort of recovered here a little, and this long-term trend line here is still holding. We didn't even go back to this trend line to get a foundation here, so that could be either good or bad. What I see likely here is that we might get a revisit here to this supporting trend line or the 20-day EMA, the green line here. On the other hand, since we're not down there, we could head down or head up here to this prior level I was talking about, around 20,000 Satoshi. So obviously I want a daily close above this level right here. So watch 16,000 down here, and also 20,000 up here in this area. Now let's look at Bitcoin Cash here, because it had a very negative day here on Thursday. This is a green, nasty looking candlestick right here. And it was down 17% at most, and almost closed at a very low as well here, outside the Bollinger Band here. And we have lost this long-term supporting trend line going back from September, so that is negative news, and we're not even close to get back up there. But you know, we'll see what happens here during this weekend. But right now it does look pretty sour for Bitcoin Cash. So there's a high risk here of further downward pressure. We might be forming a bear flag here. We'll see what happens. So if that would fail, we'll likely head down here to these lows back here around 407. So that's what I'm looking at to the downside. Otherwise, in the bullish case, we need to get up to the $500 level, basically where we cross this trend line here Those are levels I'm looking at here when it comes to Bitcoin Cash. Now finally, I want to make a comparison here to Dow Jones and gold, because we had a major stock market crash in the last week. And here is Dow Jones. And what happened with stocks was that on Wednesday, that was when the stocks were going to the downside here. So cryptos sort of waited here. But Dow Jones fell 3% on Thursday, and then another, I think it was 2% on Thursday. So this was the biggest fall since February of 2018 for stocks. Now, what we are asking here, since this is a crypto channel, is there any correlation here between stocks and cryptos? Now, I'm not going to say that there is, but when I'm looking at these charts, it sure does look like Wall Street might be involved here to the downside for cryptos. Because in a perfect world, we want cryptos to be sort of a hedge when we'll get a major stock market crash or a financial crisis. And that's basically how gold works, even though it's manipulated. But gold was the only asset class basically to rise on Thursday. So let's have a quick look here at gold. So here's the nice bar we had on Thursday. Gold went up 2.7%. That might not sound a lot, but in the world of precious metals, that is a major move. So it did work as a hedge here, and that's what I want cryptos to work in the future, when we'll get another financial crisis, which we will. I'm just not sure when it will happen. But then we want cryptos and gold, of course, to function as hedges. So interesting potential correlation here between stocks and cryptos. Now finally, I talked to Mark yesterday, and he told me that he will likely do another update on Bitcoin tomorrow, Sunday. So make sure to watch that and follow cryptos very carefully here during the weekend. And have a great Saturday. Goodbye.